Well, take a look at here. Of course, the hero is going to be running on out. It's Envy on the defense first, and the offense from LNL, of course, you can't really decide anything because why would they? Teams just wait till the last second. Not because they need to hide things with the other team in a lot of cases, but a lot of it just, why not mess with the casters just a little bit more? Defense, though, we have a pretty good idea what's going on, and Envy going to something they've liked a lot this season, which is Tailspin on defensive tracer.
But what is being changed up a little bit, we saw smatterings of it earlier on, but having your flex support going over for the Brigitte, generally we're used to her coming into these compositions where it's a triple support composition. But now having the main healer as the Mercy and having, of course, Brigitte there to just be that extra control and bodyguard for her along with some sustain might work out now. Did have Sugar Free on the Hammond for a second and Decod on the Doomfist, but that is not what it's going to be. It is just going to be pure goats coming out for LNL on the point A offense.
Hey, Jax, thank you for supporting the Overwatch League and buying that All Access Pass. That is a sweet emote. Just going to go out that there, and that's still available, I believe. Might be wrong, but if I'm not, pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to be moving into a point on the left-hand side. Full on, when in doubt, goats it out. And Envy, ready. Leaving from the top in a pretty good position. They do need to start putting bodies on the point, though, as Sugar Free already charged up 70%. He's going to get real gritty on the point real fast.
Already one tick coming in for LNL here. Next was dropped low, but they're not able to convert because LNL are just playing in this death ball style, making sure that no one is vulnerable here. They almost brought down Buds, but it's Shiny who gets focused. He will fall.
And that is the grind that happens with this Goats-esque 3-3 setup. LNL, they're able to live for long enough. They grind down Envy in the dust, and even though an EMP is up, the time is not ripe for it here. Bud's is going to have to save that for the second point, so point A taken in a flash.
And we're seeing some swap offs coming out from Envy. Of course, because they are running the Goats composition on the offense, that means there's no real counter to a Pharah here. Tailspin going over to the Pharah. Now Crimzo goes over to the Ana of all things.
But no chill whatsoever this offense. Already on point B. Envy, no chance to breathe, but Tailspin, the rockets from the back. It's enough damage. Oh no, they got a little bit ahead of themselves. They could have waited a little bit longer. And Envy gonna easily re-secure it here.
Yeah, they try to snowball into that, but they have to realize that in that point A push, they didn't win it outright. Envy were able to slow it down and give it up slowly, allowing, of course, their tanks to build up ultimates, Fire to build up that Valkyrie. So LNL, I think they were trying to force out some ultimates there, but now Dogman has now swapped over to the Ana himself, trying to tag Tailspin, but he's got the Mercy pocket, so he needs to try and focus out someone else because he is not going to be able to take out that Pharah.
The Ana is decent though, just for adding a little bit of pressure to it, but you look at the defense of Envy here, they're going to stay a little bit back. The rally's obviously in from LNL. Tailspin working his way around. Meanwhile, Sugar Free holding onto the graph. He would love to get Tailspin in it as well, so he has to watch out for it. Oh, just use it in the backline. Looking for both supports. Gets Buds as a bonus, but it's not as effective. The follow-through really wasn't there, and Envy now fighting on back. Drops a barrage to Tailspin, and next, able to nullify a lot, but doesn't really matter. The rest of his team falling by the wayside. He's going to get poked out of his mech, and Envy, even though they're going to lose McGravy out of the mech here, still, well, they were in control. Now it's a little bit spicier. Don't think it's spicy enough, but LNL still trying to make it happen.
Oh, sleep dart onto the moving platform. Tailspin, though, still needs to help them stabilize. LNL already securing one tick, and Fire somehow gets taken out by Decod, and now LNL have a real chance here. Second tick coming in. Someone is contesting. Can't quite see who it is. It is Shiny on the Winston, able to take out Dogman.
The scary part here is that Buds went down without being the EMP. It might not have even been a good opportunity with fall through not there. Envy fighting tooth and nail back. Earth Shatter in from Decod. Buds drops EMP over the sky, but it's more desperation. He's outnumbered here on the point. Envy on the break. It's just Buds and Tailspin left. Tailspin gotta touch the point, gotta move on down. The payload is going, has to drop in, ends up dying. And LNL actually able to grit that one out. That wasn't looking good for them there. But that's what happens when on the defense you fail to get a pickoff for a few precious seconds. Things can turn the other way.
I mean, when you've got the Ana and when you've got the Mercy, both of them are very good at solo healing because their healing output is just so high. Without Envy being able to take out both of them, they were just able to out-support throughout all of that. And so now it is going to be LNL moving on to their defense. I mean, 4 minutes and 50 seconds in their timing. That was a really great offense for them. We'll see if Team Envy can match that. Looking like it right now, Fire and Crimzo already sitting on the Lucio and the Moira, Wouldn't be surprised if Tailspin swaps over to the Brigitte going for that triple support composition. We did see earlier today that the teams, they've kind of eschewed running the Zarya and going for the Sombra instead. So not full goats like we had mentioned, but throwing in, of course, the Hacker.
Well, we'll see what comes out here. I do think LNL is pretty committed to running this heavy dive defense with the Hammond, with the Doomfist. You know, that little Wrecking Ball Doomfist combo. Envy on the other side, I mean, they have a large hill to get over here, where 4 minutes and 50 seconds, it is blazingly quick coming out from LNL. It's going to be difficult for them to reverse course in this game. Certainly not impossible, but something that is not a great position to be in here on Assault, to be sure, as DCOD gonna have some fun in the preamble.
Speaking of large hills, I mean, they are setting up. It looks like this is a pre-worked out strat. DCOD is here on the high ground, so he's gonna already be attached to something. He's gonna be able to swing on in. What I really want to look at is Sugar Free's positioning on the Doomfist now, because it looks like he was using the Rising Uppercut and the Seismic Slam to get himself into position somewhere. Never mind, it looks like he's just on the high ground by the mini health pack, so it's gonna be DCOD to initiate with this defense.
DCOD's making me want to play mini golf right now. This looks like a bigger version of golf with your friends. Yeah, that's all I'm thinking of right now.
Now, it looks like, yeah, Envy are very wary about this, and so they're not going to go for triple support. It is just going to be Crimzo and Fire on the Lucio and Moira. And here we go, DCOD swinging on into action, gets the knock-up onto 2, but it's not going to be enough. They are going on in. Doomfist is into the action, too.
They got the DMEC, though. That's what they're looking for. The danger here for LNL is that they need to at least win one fight. They can't have this go completely in Envy's way. It's a trade out here. This is actually not too bad for Envy, but it gives LNL some outs. McGravy gonna get chased down by the crazy hamster on the other side, but Envy maintains a presence on the point. Bud's at 65%. The best condition here for Envy is that they take the fight without having to burn the EMP, and right now they're starting to head that Tailspin. Getting some momentum here in the cleanup. Sugar Free diving in, not much HP, looking for a punch and a dream, but it's Envy just getting cleanup here. LNL hasn't been able to reset.
Now, they are able to secure that one tick, the second one about to come in, but DCOD wants to counter-engage. He's able to build up a lot of ultimate, but just before he gets the minefield, he gets taken out. And so, it was a little bit slow, but Envy were able to burn down L&L. They'll take it now, 6:46, moving in to the next phase here. L&L are making some swap-offs. Sugar Free going over to the Tracer here, but it's Tailspin who's already got the Pulse Bomb for this next fight.
And the scary thing is, in the Pulse Bomb here, I mean, that could help open up, but you got the EMP. This is the win condition that Envy really wanted going into this, and Buds is going to set the stage where Envy's waiting for the go-ahead, goes directly to the back, he's detected, drops EMP, immediately eliminates Dogman with the aid of Tailspin. The tag team duo in the back connects, 2 early pickoffs, and Envy's gonna get the snowball they're looking for, but do have to watch the mines as they move on in.
And Lair was able to get into the back line, take out Crimzo with that EMP, but still, Envy have such a huge presence here. Self-destruct is gonna come out, but Next does not connect. Dogman does as he comes back with the respawn. Still though, Buds on this Sombra doing so much damage, but it looks like LNL might have been able to stabilize. The first tick not going over quite yet as Dogman finds another.
Wasn't clean enough there for Envy, and also, you know, credit where credit is due there. I do think the mines limited Envy's mobility on the point pretty heavily there. It funneled them to one side, and I think when you can predict people's movement to that degree, it did sort of add into the people that got picked off. So not as bad showing for Hammond here so far.
Yeah, DCOD is able to find these engages. It looks like he has had a bit more practice with it. Taking a look right there, you know, we saw Beast Halo trying to run the Wrecking Ball earlier, and he didn't have quite the swing momentum that DCOD's able to build out really quickly with this Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball, of course, so quick at repositioning. Sneaky because even if you know where he is, he can easily get to the other side just as quick. Nano boosted Sugar Free here. A little questionable. Envy's not really feeling that phase. Throws out the Pulse Bomb, Eden right up, but still mows down the Diva. Tailspin almost gets chunked with the one flip and taken down. Sugar Free finishes his plate. And off of that, Envy working at a real disadvantage here, where, by the way, it's going to be a slower time for them now, no matter what.
And LNL can continue to drag this on with the defense. Again, they've got DCOD. Oh, with that Wrecking Ball, with the minefield, he can slow things down now, goes on in, tries to hunt down Shiny, who is just stuck here. Defense Matrix will allow him to get him out, but that bought some much-needed time for LNL. They're almost at that EMP. Sugar Free, of course, just an excellent DPS, should be able to build up that Pulse Bomb quite quickly, along with Next, who's got that self-destruct coming online.
Sugar Free close to another Pulse Bomb, pulling the back. Dogman, though, already down because EMP engaged. Buds barely gets away with his life. Still badly needs a heal. DCOD buys some time here, drops the mines, limits the mobility, but the mines are out of it. The barrier gives Envy the durability they need. Doesn't come, though, at a free cost. Fire out of it. Envy starting to bleed a little bit here, even as they get progress. Respawns are coming in from LNL. The problem is for LNL is that they don't have a lot of punching powers that come in. Not much in the way of ults are going to bail them out of the situation. But that's not an ult. That's just Dogman landing nice shots, gets rid of Tail, and that's exactly what LNL needed here as Decon is unchecked.
That's what Dogman did on the first defense here on point B. Volskaya, he was able to come up with some key frags, and you know, this is one of the members that we have to look towards for LNL to be able to kind of help them carry through a lot of these fights. He comes up with clutch pickoffs, but also I want to mention what Decon was able to do with that minefield. We talked about, of course, limiting the mobility, and what's better than having a Lucio stuck in a corner where he's not able to get out. The minefield was just stuck all around him. He could not take a step out of the high ground on the right-hand side. That allowed Endlayer to just corner him and finish him off. That was huge coming up for them, and so now MV, they're going to try and make another approach here. Buds at 78%, 79% towards that EMP. He's already got spotted out. Both the supports here, but he needs the rest of the dive coming out from Envy.
Yeah, he's waiting for it. D-Stealths looks immediately for Dogman. Dogman under pressure, it doesn't care! Now, of course, Dogman does fall because Shiny falls through, but it was just a little bit off sync. If it was a little bit quicker, Buds would have survived. So Dogman defends himself, and look at how much this delays Envy. Envy's just going to wait.
Yeah, you really have to be careful around a corner Dogman. He will swipe back at you. So now Envy, 2 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock, and again now with Sugar Free swapping off onto this far, there's no real answer to him. Now, luckily for them, the skybox isn't too high here on Volskaya, so Buds might be able to get up to them, get the EMP, and shut down the jetpack.
You know, I'd love to see more random spam here to deal with Buds. It's actually not that hard to guess where he is, but he just immediately drops a frontal EMP. They use it to deal Sugar Free. They ground him, but Decon comes back in, just Goomba stomps in on McGravy. 2 people down on both sides, but you're no, this is totally fine. You got the minefield. Look at Envy, he's like, we don't really want to go through that, but there is only one way through if you want to get there quick, and Decon just gonna bowl him right on over. This is good for LNL so far.
Super hamster ball right now coming out from Decon as he is showing a level of proficiency with this wrecking ball that we didn't get to see earlier on in the other series. All right, now Decon looks like he has gotten really good practice with it because he knows the ins and outs of it. He's able to kite well, and his minefields have been really good in zoning out and also converting on eliminations. And so now Team Envy, though, coming into this next fight, they've made some changes. Buds has gone over to the Hanzo, so we'll see if he can try and deal with Sugar Free.
This is going to be 1 minute 30 left, and Envy's best possible push. If this doesn't work out well, the double support ults, well, frankly, that's probably going to be it. They're setting up quickly. They got Endlayer immediately. Big time pickoff, and now they can layer it in. Dogman's down. Buds gets a sweet revenge. Sugar Free entirely nullified. Everything is going well for Envy here in this push. Dogman might be getting brought back up, but the self-destruct merely buys time. Envy, though, has used both support ults here. They invested a lot for this opportunity. They're making the most of their investment, but they can't lose anyone here. They need to punish the Hammond, and they do.
It was also the rally being used here, so almost all of the sustain very nearly gone, but it's the second tick, and looks like they might get an ROI onto this as Ajax tries to contest, but he will not be able to in the face of Shiny with the Primal Rage, along with a Dragon now. There's so many animals, actually, in Overwatch. We've got the dragons, we've got, of course, Winston, the hamster. There's so many things coming in. What's next?
Well, I will say this is, I think it's up to the players for a little bit of creativity. I won't be satisfied unless, let's say LNL gets the grand finals. Dogman needs to pull Sonic Fox. He needs to talk of Sonic Fox to be like, who made you your incredibly obnoxious fox suit? And then if LNL wins, he needs to just immediately morph into the suit and go shake hands with the other team in the full dog outfit.
I like that kind of like callback to like the Bakugo award ceremony where he's like tied up and then he had the ribbon like or the medallion put over his snout because that's the only way they could get it onto him. But yeah, now Envy, they're playing so far behind here as they go on to their second offense here on point A of Volskaya. 1 minute to LNL's 5 minutes and 5. That is a tough, tall mountain to climb.
It's going to be tough. Certainly, we've seen teams bring this back here. It's not entirely unheard of to get on the point quickly and go to next. I also think that what LNL is running here in the defense, where they're not going to be running the Doomfist, so they're playing it a little bit more reliable, but I do think the Hammond on point A does leave the ability for Envy to potentially snowball them, especially without Minefield or anything to go too early. So I don't think he meant to do that. That was not intentional. A power play coming out here from Envy because Decon could not keep his eye on the ball.
I'm not entirely too sure what happened there. Did he let go of the mouse? But yeah, that is huge. With the Wrecking Ball gone, with the main take gone, LNL are going to suffer here as Enlair is the first one to go down really low. They're trying their best to just rally the forces, just kind of, you know, round the horses around. But now they are trying to fight back up against them. Nex is able to take out Crimzo.
Well, one nice thing, Decon could roll back into the fight real quick. I mean, the hero is the fastest in the game, so it helps out. The problem is that Envy is trading out pretty darn well here. 20 seconds left, though, so they can't feel super confident, but now it is going the way. The issue that kind of is bad for them, though, is that Bud's only at 50%. He's not going to be the most charged up Sombra. He's not going to have that EMP win condition, even as it's looking like Envy should get point A.
2 ticks did go over for Envy here, and they're trying to continue on as we are hitting into overtime. Ooh, the Wrecking Ball coming on in. Decon able to connect with 2. Got the shield up, and he's almost got the minefield. Decon takes out Bud, and here we go. They're fighting back.
Nano boosted. Hammond gonna drop the minefield. Now it's like, touch the point. It's like, but it's nano boosted. There's mines everywhere. Oh God, the mines. Well, they dealt with Decon, and now Tailspin moves in, looking for a bit more cleanup. The key here is that they need to save the EMP.
Dogman.
They can't use the EMP here, even as Dogman comes in on the flank. EMP, though, comes in for the defense. That might force a hand. Now, they still have to touch the point. Overtime ticking down. Envy on the brink. Overtime's over, and Envy doesn't even get point A.
They did get like about 99%. It was really close there. But I thought it might have been over once Decon was able to get that nano boost and minefield out. I've seen that combo. Wow, 99.3%. Envy were so close to getting an additional 30 seconds and a crack at point B.
One thing we do know here, which is always a good thing to look at, is that, you know, barring the rarest of rare circumstances, not going to get a draw. We will crown a winner on this map, one way or another.
This might put LNL up against Envy and, you know, put them in position to be the first Trials team who had fought their way through to actually make it into the semifinals. This is such a great story for LNL, a team that has been grinding now. A lot of these players, they've been on tier 2, tier 3 teams for so long now.
Also, before we get too far past the point, I need to put Envy on blast a little bit here. Guys, they literally gave you a 6-on-5. Their Hammond player didn't control it well, dropped himself into a pond right as the gates opened. My dudes, you gotta win that fight.
Despite that blunder, though, LNL, I think they responded properly, right? Because they had the Sombra, they had the hacked Mega Health Pack there, so they were really turtling until he got back on in, and he was able to just roll right on through. But now, Envy, they need a huge hold here. 5 minutes left for LNL to secure point A. So we do have the triple support composition out. Buds, though, on the Widowmaker, it's going to be so difficult up against the Goats composition. Try and kill anything.
Yeah, it's like, can we just Goats this for 5 minutes and do this? Well, as long as everyone doesn't get chunked by Buds, that's a thing. Buds almost gets a Zarya. Chase gets a D.Va to go over towards him, but the D.Va split off, which means the D.Va isn't protecting the main clump of people here. It's an opportunity for that. Dogman's going to fall. But Buds is successfully chased down by Nex. They got rid of the Widow threat. That's right with the
Decon.
An early shatter from Decon. Built it up because everyone was cuddling there in the corner. And Decon, perhaps the biggest cuddler of all, ends up putting it over the top here for LNL. They just need a little bit more. Envy already on the break.
Coalescence is there, but oh my gosh, there's so much damage coming out from Sugar Free. He's almost at the Graviton Surge. First hit coming on out. They're going to zone them out with the self-destruct. And Lair, even with the Brigitte now, making sure that the fade is used by Crimzo to get out of this fight. Second tick comes on as they will contest, but no, Crimzo will instantly fall.
And this is looking real good for LNL. They just need a little bit more. Bud's gonna fall Crimzo out of it. Barrier gonna be invested here by Envy, but only Tailspin was feeling the music, and this is gonna be a clean sweep. LNL, get the last few. You drop the Graviton into the air for victory, and whoo, Shiny goes, I'm still here. I'm still here.
It's huge.
It's not enough. Nowhere near enough. LNL now 1 map away from going to the semifinals on Friday.
It's official. We are replacing the toothpaste on these hot dogs with sriracha sauce.
Hey.
These hot dogs are spicy. They are spicy dogs. I want to just keep making hot dog puns.
It's totally fine. I mean,
what
also,
I wanna do.
that would be edible compared to toothpaste on a hot dog, which doesn't make any sense.
I take it back. They took their bottle of toothpaste, they put some chili oil in it, and then they slathered it all over the hot dog. Eat that, ZP.
No.
No.
Who did
No.
eat toothpaste was actually Mayhem Academy's coach.
Did it actually happen?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
that's
send you the link to
amazing.
that tweet later.
Please do. I'm so happy that happened.
That's really not good for your digestive system. Where,
No, but it is good for,
You get the child
content.
safety one,
Yeah.
You know what also isn't good for morale on a different note? Losing a fight where the other team actually suicided a player right beforehand, where I get it, LNL was holding back and they did everything possible to buy time for the quickest hero in the game to get back, but there was an opportunity there, guys.
It was, but we have to give credit where credit is due. DCOD has clearly learned Hammond and is putting him to good use here on Volsky.
And this is what we wanted to see today, right? Where obviously we're going to see some bad Hammonds. I think that much was guaranteed, but there's a possibility of seeing some good Hammonds, and DCOD's been showing a more cerebral use, more hit and run, and pretty good usages of the minefield, especially in defensive situations.
Yeah, I mean, he's no longer on the gorilla, but he's like playing gorilla tactics with that ham in there, and it's been working out for him. And you can see that he is comfortable whenever he uses that grapple hook, building up momentum faster. Earlier today when we got to see it, it wasn't quite as clean on the Wrecking Ball skills, but take a look. This is a setup. He knew this one, and that was great coming out from them. They're able to just focus down members there, get the D-mech, and then follow up on everything else.
And the minefields have been so well placed,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the nano-boosted minefields have actually given Envy quite a few problems.
And what we've been seeing on Minefield is that it's not particularly an ultimate here so far that's sort of, I dropped the ultimate and took down 3 or 4 people. It's an ultimate that forces people into very poor positioning or gives relief to your backline. It is, at heart, a control ultimate where it's merely the threat of getting removed from it as opposed to actually actively eliminating people, but that control is actually incredibly useful.
It's like,
Would you say it's a zoning ultimate?
Yes, in true form.
yes, it's also just like you dumped a bucket of Legos on the floor in front of people. No one wants to go there. No one wants to step on that, but eventually it'll get swept away and you can step forward. But for that, those moments,
You know, stepping on Legos is far more painful than it has any right to be. You always do it. It's just, you think that you've actually permanently messed up your foot, and it's just like, wow, this is actually just way more painful than it should be.
and now I need to call to the internet to replace Hammond's minds with Legos in some sort of video. Pretty please.
Hey, look, cross promotions are a thing. You never know who's going to sponsor Overwatch.
Also, as always, we have our player that we told you to keep an eye on, Sugar Free, doing his normal but Sugar Free and making some clutch plays on Zarya.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to help carry them through King's Row, and then there, his Zarya was absolutely stellar. As we see a lot of DPS players, when they do flex over to that Zarya, they're able to just burn down people. And now, LNL are 2-1 up.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely, this is something where LNL, they've been on a hot streak now for multiple weeks, and they've kept it going to playoffs. And by the way, they have single-handedly raised Hammond's win rate. It is no longer undefined. Hammond's on the board, ladies and gentlemen.
We had the Symmetra win rate. Now we have the Hammond win rate. Contenders is just changing up all of Overwatch. You heard it here first, folks.
Well, the old Symmetra win rate, now it's in its own category. No one's really been brave enough to do new Symmetra yet.
Ooh, but we haven't seen Mangachu play yet, so we don't know yet. But that is for another day. Right now, we are going to Watchpoint Gibraltar, which is an escort map. Will we see Torb in this new meta?
I want to hope. I want to hope and pray. There's a world where I could see someone like Tailspin playing it. I don't think it's likely, especially when the season's on the line. Like, when the season's on the line,
True.
especially when you think it's winnable, where I think Envy definitely thinks they have the chops to bring this back, you don't want to mess around things that are just sort of seen as, screw it, who cares, we're going to lose anyways, because that's not Envy's mindset right now.
That's true, yeah, but we also, it's like we said, it's a new meta. We don't know. Envy needs to win this to take it to a map 5, or LNL's going to take it. So maybe in desperation, we'll see something weird.
Yeah, this might be kind of like a comfort pick where they go for like a double sniper once again, going for the Hanzo along with Widowmaker. But this is such a scary proposition because, well, now DCOD has proven that he can play a good Wrecking Ball. And so we'll see if he actually pulls that out and really just destroys the backline himself.
All right, well, this map matters. Quick predictions.
Right now, I do think Envy's going to bring this back on Gibraltar. I'm not sure. It's hard because I could see Hammond either way. I feel like it might be a little bit too soon to get great value of him here on Gibraltar, but we'll see. I think Envy will bring it to map 5, though.
I'm going to go ahead and give it to LNL. The X factor of that Hammond is just way too big.
The desk is split. LNL is up 1 map. Will they take it all here? Let's watch.
This will be interesting because on one hand there's narrow corridors, but on the other hand getting momentum to swing on through is going to be tricky. Also, I feel like Envy's seen this fastball in quite literal form multiple times now, so you'd think you'd have a response.
What if you like set up like a pendulum right there in the car wash section? And so you're just swinging back and forth as the payload right makes it underneath.
You'd think. You'd think just be like, that's also not a very fun car wash. That's kind of what happens when you go for the $5 econo wash. Actually just wrecks your car.
I mean, basically it'll just remind me of like 4th grade playing tetherball. Just getting smacked in the face over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, for me, at least you hit the ball. I was just whiffing at a ball.
No, I got hit in the face with the ball, man. I don't know if that technically counts. All right, so it looks like Envy on the defense. They're going to go for just one sniper. It's Buds on the Widowmaker as Tailspin goes, of course, over to the Brigitte. So triple support coming out from them, while LNL are going to go for a dive. Sugar Free on the Genji layer. On the Widow, we've seen that if he does pop off, he can really contribute a lot to these fights.
And of course, Widow, a bit more of an endangered species here at times, but certainly not on Gibraltar, where both teams are saying, you know what, Smoke Purple Lady seems like a good idea. Also note that no Hammond in play here, so Envy perhaps reading through what LNL is comfortable on. See Sugar Free right now, just looking for a little bit of poke, looking for a way to build the Dragon Blade. Envy holding firm on top, and both teams right now being a little passive.
Yeah, Bud's understanding that there is a counter Widow, so he's just going to play this angle here, not leave himself susceptible to Lair, who's just really trying to pepper away at the tanks, but because of the shield, because of the barriers, because of the defense matrix, Lair hasn't been able to do much until that, but there is a res. They're going to be able to get it off, bring it back on in.
Yeah, so Envy a little bit unsettled by that pickoff, but Enlair sets a tone, gets the first Widow pickoff here. LNL, Payload now getting to a point where they can start being a little bit more aggressive. Enlair looking for the other side, but oh, LNL might have dove too deep, did not get what they're looking for, thoroughly and completely denied. That's going to be Envy holding on.
Yeah, just good positioning coming out from Crinzo. He plays over at window there. Does not leave himself vulnerable, of course, to the Widowmaker because he's got the wall and the window in front of him, but he still has the line of sight of the people who are going to try and dive after Bud. So it's kind of like a little bit of a bait there coming out from Buds. Now, Shiny, he's going to have the Primal Rage, and a lot of ultimates coming online for Envy, as they've also got the Self-Destruct from McGravy, and Crimzo with that Transcendence, and the Valkyrie coming up. So LNL need to try and get some of these out, or Sugar Free's not going to be able to do much with this Blade.
They're sneaking around the right side. Sugar Free Blade ready, immediately uses it. Brigitte on his side, stunned right away, but Dogman makes the most of it. While Tailspin's turn, he gets punished. Sugar Free has to sell for just one. Decon low in the back, has to leap away. Envy still in this, but they've lost Shiny. Fire took a risk, got burned real bad. Tailspin comes back up, but where's the support in it? Fire's already down. Gets the rally though off the res. Gonna be making people a little bit more tanky. Now trying to back out. Under fire, shield broken as LNL trying to bring this the other way, but Envy's being remarkably resilient right now.
They are able to stay alive for now, but they are slowly getting burned down with the D-Mech onto McGravy. Oh, he actually takes out Decon. There we go. 2 more eliminations coming in for LNL, and they are finally cleaning up the members of Envy.
They just need a little bit more. Seems being remarkably persistent here, but this might be too much to bear. Dogman and Sugar Free able to get the cleanup that they're looking for here, and now LNL gonna get through point A. Now the question is, can they keep the momentum going? Envy needs a reset in a hurry.
They are trying to chase down Fire, but he's able to get out. Might be Buds who goes down. No, he's able to fall back with that Widowmaker. So full regroup coming out from MB. No one getting punished on those forward spawns here. Lair, we'll go ahead and pop that infra site. Give him all the information, but it's pretty easy to tell. Yeah, they're mostly here, and then there's one person out on the bottom right. That's Tailspin on the Brigitte. So he's not been able to regroup with his team. And this is dangerous because Sugar Free does have a Blade. They need to group with him.
Yeah, Sugar Free, he's looking to bring this up all on his lonesome.
Oh,
Decon
no.
makes disruption at the back. The Primal Rage doing work. Sugar Free trying to capitalize on it now. Going to the back. Forces out the Transcendence, but is shut down on the other side. LNL, not quite out of this push here yet, but they do need their treat a little bit. Envy also gonna regroup. Neither team super decisive, but uh-oh, LNL cleaning up Envy there. Envy didn't give themselves time to fully regroup. Now they put themselves in the hole. Next way back the other way. Self-destruct loaded. Envy on the brink.
They also use the rally there, and Bud is able to take out Sugar Free, so they're going to be able to get back onto the point. Crimzo taking out Dogman allows Envy to try and stabilize here. Decod needs to fall back now, but instead, he'll give his life over to Shiny. And so, Envy are able to stabilize off the back of that rally, and some great picks from Buds and Crimzo. The armor will persist onto both supports, so that rally does go to good use there. Coming into this next fight, though, LNL, they committed a lot into that, but luckily for them, they were able to extend that out and build up some more.
Oh,
there
no!
Buds!
Sugar Free just punishes Buds for clicking into the deflect. Oh boy, and look at how much it's charged Sugar Free here as well. That is a huge error from Buds when Envy could ill afford it, and now Sugar Free moves in, Blade out. dives on back, easily gets on the Crimzo, and this is looking real good for LNL as they try and get the point. Bud's on his back, gets on the decon, and Envy's been going for a little bit guerrilla warfare here.
Ooh, Sugar Free was dropped on low as Buds picks off Ajax, and so that should be LNL backing away now, but instead, no, they're gonna persist. Self-destruct comes on out, but it's stuck in the corner. It actually gets Buds. Oh, wow, LNL are fighting back into this as Lair takes out Tailspin, and so now the numbers advantage in favor of
Transcend's
LNL.
in though, Transcend's gonna get them right back up. Envy needed that just in the nick of time. Dogman got fire! Bursts him down, doesn't care about the Transcend. An important pickoff. Transcend's done, Dragon Blade's back up. Sugar Free looking to the other side. Doesn't want to use it here though. They'd really like to get this through without spending ults, but Envy has bought so much time.
Yeah, LNL, as they reach point B, they're gonna have 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Resets coming out from Team Envy there. But coming into this next fight, as Tailspin swaps off onto Hanzo, that's going to leave themselves vulnerable. They're going to go for this double sniper composition on Envy's defense, but that does mean that Sugar Free will be free to go forward with this Genji Blade. And DCOD has actually been doing such a good job on the Winston of really enabling these dives. And so look to Sugar Free now to try and close this out.
Sugar Free, Blade loaded. Most of them have been dead on. One person that could stop him here would be Buds and Sugar Free. Brings out the Blade, likes what he sees, moves in 4 seconds, 3, grabs fire. But Tailspin does shut him down. It's not too bad for Envy. They get a reasonable trade, and they're gonna have enough to put some real contest here on the point.
Now, the dive comes on in from McGravy, and Shiny almost dropped down low. Dogman uses the Transcendence here to keep his members topped off as Lair goes for the EMP, but it's the headshot from Tailspin. Oh, that EMP leaves Tailspin stuck as a sitting duck there, and he will fall, but Envy fight back.
It's okay for Envy. I mean, respawns are gonna be coming in pretty darn quick here. LNL, they need a reset. It was looking good for a while, but this has to be decisive like all last points do, and Envy's just like, you know what, actually, we're cool, we're cool.
Yeah, just some great arrows coming out from Tailspin, so he was able to at least trade away with Lair when he went in for that EMP. Falling to that self-destruct, there's absolutely nothing he could do. He can't wall climb, he can't, of course, use his lunge to increase his mobility to get out. So, Tailspin, able to dish out so much damage with this Hanzo. He's got the Dragon Strike. Now, it's going to be a little difficult to try and pin down LNL for it, but of course you can always use it just to zone and split people off as Buds gets jumped on.
It's early jump on here. Tailspin going to have to back out a D.Va in his face. Envy working on the brink here, drops the Dragon, just makes some space, and oh, did he get the knockoff? He does. Crimzo.
Oh, no!
Tailspin goes to join him. Can't climb up.
Oh, no!
And you see that little bounce where he was like, why is this game breaking on me? He thought he should have had it, and now Buds. Last minute Sombra delay, but I got news for you, Buds. Nowhere near as effective as it used to be. LNL making good advantage because of DCOD's great play.
That was a huge Primal Rage coming out now. Transcendence is used by Envy just to try and stall out to the point, but as it diffuses, it is going to be Sugar Free to clean him up, and now just last-ditch effort, one by one. Sugar Free now with another Blade. They'll get the DMX, they'll clean up McGravy, and now we've got the Wrecking Ball coming out from Shiny, but he is getting bursted down.
Yeah.
There we go.
Celtic too. The Wrecking Ball goes down, you just see Hammond just broken open, like one of those Cadbury eggs at Easter, but it's real sad because it was actually a live then dead hamster.
You know, but also like huge credit to the sound design team of Overwatch. It's so good, and it really does instill a lot of empathy into you whenever he dies. That like, oh, that is what a genetically modified hamster sounds like when he's getting demeched and thrown into the battlefield.
What that really does bring up the point is that, Winston, people would feel more sorry for you when you get focused down on a dive if you just sounded cuter.
Yeah, exactly.
Winston
the fact that he
cute.
can speak English or like just speak at all, I think, you know, just doesn't allow people to really empathize as much as they do with, like, so let's say a dog or a cat, right?
Yeah, although there are like some portraits of Hammond where he just looks full-on psycho killer. It kind of reminds me of like the memes about May, except might actually be accurate in Hammond's case. I mean, we don't know what he's saying on some of those battle cries. Only Winston does, actually. The lore rule in Overwatch is that all animals know what each other are saying.
Well, I mean, it's like Chewie and Han Solo, right? Like, they're able to communicate with each other. They just have that bond. Now, LNL, they were able to complete out the map. 1.4 seconds of timing. I mean, really nothing at that point. It might have been, it might have just, well, as been overtime here. But taking a look at their defense, and so it looks like they're going to go for a dive defense as Lair is now on the Sombra here, and Sugar Free, of course, on the Genji, who's been fantastic with it all series long. D-Cod, you know, he's not a pal, he's not a bro. He's not going to be on that wrecking ball for us, even though I've really been enjoying watching his wrecking ball.
His wrecking ball has been good. Again, I think Gibraltar is a map where, even though it could work, I think it's a little bit tricky at the level of skill we're at on it. For me, this is a big test for Buds, where I think Buds has been pretty hit or miss all night, as kind of has been his calling card. This is a test where if he can go in here, if he can outplay Enlair, especially if it ends up in Widow v Widow at any point, or if he can just simply get good picks, that's going to do wonders here for Envy as they try and make this double sniper composition work.
Now we've seen the double sniper use to great effect here on Gibraltar. Right now, LNL are just going to fall back and not peek quite yet. Sugar Free, you know, he's safe to do so. He's got the deflect there on the Genji, but oh, it's Lair who has to be careful. Only able to build up 10% towards that EMP right now because they only have one member onto it. He's going to have multiple opportunities to try and build up that EMP.
Buds, for now, looking for shots. Again, it's sort of a waiting game while the payload ends up going forward. Sugar Free, though, real deep gets punished, and that is not resible. Tailspin gets Ajax for good measure, and suddenly Envy, off of Sugar Free's over-aggressive dive, have opened up the way here, and now Tailspin's gonna go back and do a little bit cleanup and a big stagger on the next.
That's a stagger, but most importantly, no one was actually pushing the payload at that time. Now, Tailspin, again, able to get the better of Lair here. But LNL, they should have, of course, the opportunity to try and recontest here, as the respawns are coming in a little bit slower for Envy, much quicker for LNL. There we go. They've got about 4 members here to contest.
Envy now, again, if they can take this fight, it'd be big. They're getting close to some big ultimates. Buds picks D-Cod, able to get with that headshot on the other end. Finishes off Dogman, and Buds has a big one, gets 3 before it's all said and done. That's exactly what Envy needed out of this fight. It's what they needed out of Buds. They're gonna get in, and now they have some real momentum.
Yeah, this is the man that we look to on Envy to really come alive, to try and carry them through a lot of these games now, and it's particularly on this Widowmaker. When he's on, he is brilliant with it. Tailspin also has been coming up huge with this Hanzo, continually shutting down Lair, who does have the EMP now. So we'll see. The high ground is controlled by Envy. It's going to be very difficult for LNL to try and make their entrance on in. Infrasight can be used by Buds, so it's going to be that much harder for Lair to get in.
Oh, and the big part here is too is Tailspin, he sees everything. He's going to have the best opportunity at a really good Dragon Strike here, and Envy investing in more. The EMP's already out from Enlair, but Crimzo got the Transcendence off in time. It's a wash. It's a nice execution by Crimzo. Sets up Envy. Well, no! The self-destruct somehow plunks tail, but Buds gets in there, but might not matter. The damage was really done by the self-destruct, and LNL, they pull themselves out of the fire.
Yeah, again, Tailspin, his worst enemy has been that self-destruct on this map here on Gibraltar. Still, though, Envy have plenty of time to work with, as they've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to make it through the shuttle phase here on Gibraltar. Now, Nex, oh, okay, Nex is gonna have his try over at that Hammond now as he goes over to the Wrecking Ball himself. So this is what I was expecting out of a lot of the Wrecking Balls, to actually be the off-tank role.
Ooh, Dogman down early. Buds again, get a bit of revenge. Tailspin built up another Dragon, drops it down the middle of the street, looking for Winston, chunking him down, D-Cod out of it. It was D-Cod and Tailspin connecting on that. Good, smooth play by Envy. All 6 players still alive. And LNL, they're gonna need a last-moment charge with the Transcendence if they want to do any more delay here on point B.
They can buy time for Ajax to also get that Valkyrie for this fight. Sugar Free should be able to go with the blade. There we go. Transcendence answered by both sides. They're going on in. As we've got, of course, the dueling Zenyatas, but it's Tailspin on the high ground here. No pressure quite yet, but he's hacked, and now he's getting hunted down.
The double pressure on the backline gonna cause Tailspin to fall. The threat gone. Envy getting the worst of that exchange. And that was relatively even going in, but now LNL with rough positioning, a Transcendence and a Prayer, able to find their way back in. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left for them to hold.
Sugar Free's got another blade here, and he's going to be very enabled by D-Cod, who has been matching that kind of pressure with that Winston. But these Winstons right now are being very aggressive at this point, diving onto the back line. But there we go, it's Lair, who's on top of Crimzo, takes him out. He's got the hacked health pack too, so he does have that advantage.
Well, he got the one clip, but Envy actually isn't all that phased. They're still getting good fight here on the point. McGravy making his presence though. Self-destruct against the wall. Clears even more space, but the person they got to get rid of here is D-Cod. D-Cod is buying LNL time. Time for Respawn to get in. Time for people to regroup. Of course, Respawn is right there.
Blade.
Dogman's brought back up and in. Here's a blade from Sugar Free. Looking the D-Mech McGravy. Gets him at the very end. And Sugar Free does enough. And we have Buds now swapped to the Sombra, but the hack, not super impactful.
A minute and 45 seconds left for Envy now. It's coming into this next fight. They are going to match ultimates once again. Dogman versus Crimzo with the Transcendences. Tailspin, though, could be the difference maker. On this Tracer, you can try and get a one-clip, force out a Transcendence at an early moment, but no, he's getting zoned out by the Winston. Transcendence out from Dogman now.
Early Transcendence out here from LNL. They're looking for any pickoff they can get. Envy, though, answers with a later Transcendence, but Tailspin couldn't get back. He was in the danger zone, and even with Envy having the ult advantage, it's gone so very wrong. Endlayer drops EMP later in the fight, and now the cleanup is going the way of LNL, where they are a minute and 10 seconds away from sending Envy home.
And LNL, they're going to be able to possibly do it once again off the back of Sugar Free's Blade. Buds, he's going to have to come up with a clutch EMP if he can build it up in time. Sugar Free backing away now. He does not need to give anything away. High ground being contested by Envy, but they are playing from so far behind. They're going to have to rely upon a miracle, a huge EMP or a huge self-destruct. Hack comes out onto Sugar Free, and he's getting hunted down.
Buds got Dogman, and he was camping the body. 2 down for free. No Blade coming in for Sugar Free, and that is big for Envy. They were on the verge of running out of time. If they lost this fight, that would have been it. But not only do they take the fight while saving everything. They are good to go for a push on point C.
Coming out to this last point now. It's Ajax and Dogman, of course. Getting that forward spawn will get staggered out. But yeah, Envy really able to stabilize off of that. Buds coming up clutch, getting into the back line. And LNL, though, they have their time. Remember, they just have to put a stop to Envy, and they take this series here. But Envy, they've got a lot of tools to work with. They just need to be on top of their ultimate economy. We have the Valkyrie coming out early from Ajax.
Sugar Free under pressure here early on. Needs to stay at good HP to get a good Blade. Buds waiting, biding his time. Blade out, McGravy gone. Already a man advantage, Sugar Free. Not sated, looking for more. LNL takes the fight. And once more, Envy looking at a minute and 10 seconds or their season is over.
Good ultimate usage out there. It was just a Valkyrie along with a Blade. And so coming down to this last minute, they still have a lot of tools to work with. Decod with the Primal Rage, creating so much space for the DPS duo on the side of LNL. And of course, next with that self-destruct, can zone a lot of people out. But it's going to be Dogman you have to really look forward to here. See if he can stay alive and try and hold on to that Transcendence until the last few seconds.
Key here is Buds. Buds has an EMP. They can save ultimates for the final push if he gets a good one. LNL, they take the initiative, drop the self-destruct. Looking for the D-Mech on McGravy. They get it. Buds, gotta drop the EMP sooner rather than later. You're down both your tanks, and it's gonna be later. Envy down to their final 30 seconds. One more push.
And they might not be able to do it as a full team. Take a look. Oh, never mind. It is not going to be a chased stagger out from LNL. So Ajax does get the res onto Decod here. Trance is still available for Dogman. They might just push forward with that Trance and the Blade from coming out from Sugar Free.
Full season on the line. Buds with the EMP set up, immediately drops it, gets out, self-destruct, setting it up, takes down 2. Exactly what Envy was looking for. Now, they must stay on the point. LNL gonna get a wave of respawns here to get another chance, but this is decisive right now from Envy. Sugar Free, though, has a Blade. He'll get one more chance.
Decod, I don't know if he was hacked or if he just holds on to that Primal Rage, but they are gonna need it for this stall. Primal Rage along with that Blade as Sugar Free jumps out, and he is getting focused down. He dies as Shiny is able to focus him away.
He's denied! That was the one chance for LNL. They're unable to stop Envy there. Round 2 done. We're going into extra rounds, and LNL, they had a chance to send Envy home right then and there. They couldn't hold on in the nick of time, and now only 1 second separates these teams as we go once more.
LNL, they were so close, but you saw Envy understood the threat. It was going to be Sugar Free. He had to use, of course, both dashes on that Genji, and that just left him as a sitting ninja in the face of Shiny's Tesla cannon there. Easily focused down. I was expecting possibly him to just dash on in, try to buy a little bit time, dash back out with the Blade, and then buy enough time for Decod to come in with the Primal Rage. But that was not the case. Envy, they didn't face much opposition here on the point A defense. We'll see if LNL make any kind of adjustments coming into this next point. Looks like next maybe goes for the Hammond.
Yeah, I mean, that's a key adjustment here where he's gonna be going for the early surprise Hammond, and this is a risk. I don't know if I actually like this coming in here, because if this fails miserably, Gibraltar's a map where you get snowballed on. It can get ugly in a hurry. If this does fail, Envy's gonna get a lot of progress.
They might just be able to tie up the series and send us to another map number 5. And so, yep, the Hammond is locked in. Next is here on the high ground with it is Envy. They're gonna go for a solo sniper, and why not? Bud has been doing the job, but it's very aggressive defense coming out from LNL. Bud is getting focused down, but he's got the pocket of the Mercies. He's gonna stay alive for now.
Two over aggro.
Goes down.
Tailspin immediately pushes Decon. The res comes in, but LNL is taking a big risk here. Nex is down. This is not the dive they're envisioning. Sugar-free contained, and this was the risk that they were playing with here. They've fed Envy. They've given them good food, good enrichment. They're down a bit on the ult race, and that could be brutal as we head into the next fight.
They're pretty close, though, on like the primal timings there. Sugar-free was able to build up some blade. Lair, though, wasn't able to get as much as I was expecting with that Sombra. But taking the fight early on there means that the payload just now gets to the car wash portion as Nex tries to get into the back. It was Dogman who's singled out.
Dogman should have been in a position to get crunched by Brigitte there. That was just bad. Tailspin comes back the other way. Cleans house. The dive from LNL in a very rough shape here. Overtime in progress. And now, Nex coming in, finds some time in the Hammond, but can't really get his way out of this one. Goes back the other way. Might be enough, actually, but the problem is he's super low, not on the payload. We've hit the next point. He comes back in, not in the nick of time. Respawns are set. Self-destruct, making room, but they gotta stand the point. Sugar-free clears it all out. Overtime in progress. Envy might not be able to get back here in time. Doesn't matter that they got the respawns, because it's gonna end here on point B.
But we saw on LNL's first offense that this is where they struggled on point A. They were really slowed down. Yeah, Nex actually getting away with his life. They're able to make it over to that mega health pack room. Envy really did need to convert all that damage onto that elimination, make sure that he stayed on the ground. If they did, you know, Nex wouldn't have been able to come in for the recontest because the respawn would have been so far away, while Envy, with having taken point A, would have had a much closer respawn distance.
Yeah, I mean, that's really on a razor's edge where it actually looked like he was about to fall.
Yeah.
You just need a little bit more poke damage. He was just able to roll out at the last second, and then guess what? Rolls back in. He's a pretty quick hero, as it turns out.
No crit box either when he's in the ball, so that could have been a huge contributor also.
This is really going to be tough for LNL, though. A minute and 1 second is not much on Gibraltar. Usually teams fiddle around for a bit. They take their time. LNL's not going to have that here, and in fact, if Envy just slows them down a bit, Envy could do this with one fight. So, in reality, the season here for Envy could be coming down to just, can Buds get an early pickoff or not? Because it's not about consistency over time now, it's about what you can burst in this 1 minute.
It's going to be Buds versus Lair, but Lair's going to have the added benefit of Sugar-free and Decod trying to apply pressure onto Buds, making his life a living hell. Right now, with the way that Envy were able to push this, be surprised if they don't keep 2-3 members on the payload at all times. Take a look, Lair's now on the low ground. He's going to be the one actually pushing the payload with this D.Va.
LNL getting a little bit quicker payload push than normal. They are sacrificing a D.Va that normally be pressuring on top. They're really increasing the risk of losing someone up top here early, and they lose Dogman. They don't have the mitigation from the D.Va because they sent one person down on the payload. And as a result, they're going to lose even more time and pressure. They get only one attempt.
Oh, and Dogman now swaps off from that Sombra. He tried to go after Crimzo, who was over by window and was not able to. You got to be careful up against these Zenyatas. One good headshot from the orbs is all you need. Sugar-free now doesn't even have a blade as we're coming down to the last 8 seconds of this fight.
Sugar-free without a blade, it's a rare combination to be sure. Envy looking good right now. LNL, final opportunity, overtime in progress. Sugar-free stun, 17 HP, but he has natural cover, able to back out. Endlair, though, down. The dive from Envy successful. Shiny, wounded, but not out. He's gonna have a chance to heal up. Almost has Primal Rage, almost down. Shiny on the edge, 98%, gonna get the Primal. Meanwhile, Envy getting the payload kills they need, getting the control they have. Shiny's built the Primal. LNL unable to get this on through. And that means we are going to be heading to a map number 5. It's not over till it's over. Both matches here today delivering.
Once again, both series today are just giving me heart issues. There's just so much back and forth, so many nail-biting moments. I'm sitting here literally with my head in my hands, like freaking out. What's gonna happen? I can't believe we're going to another map 5. This is crazy.
Gibraltar was something else. It was back and forth to the very end, and I will remind you guys that LNL had the opportunity to end Envy's season. They had multiple pushes where all they needed was one fight, and Envy withstood. Envy found a way through, and Buds in particular definitely had a little bit more consistent play towards the end of the stretch. Envy found strength in unexpected areas, and LNL just not quite enough. And I don't know if I really like their initial gambit that they went with there in the front. And I think they're actually lucky that Envy's attack didn't go further in the extra rounds.
They really could have, but ultimately you got to see the kind of time crunch they were under. And that's why, like I said in the past, I prefer to attack first, because then I get to just set the goalpost further and further back. But, you know, luckily for them, they were able to stem the bleeding, but still it was not enough in the end.
One thing, again, I think I'd really point to is that generally speaking, teams only leave like one person on the payload for Gibraltar in that extra round attack.
Yeah.
They were worried about payload progress, so they left a Diva down there, but they had way less protection than you normally have on top as a result, and I think it changed people's danger zones. I think that's what led to Dogman getting picked as early as he did on the top, and you put players out of their comfort zone because you're trying to play the objective a little bit harder there. Didn't work out.
It was kind of like a little bit of a bait and switch there, where they show that they do have the Widowmaker, but instead the real threat was supposed to be Dogman, but of course, you know, these Zenyatas are so good about protecting themselves.
Right. Also, we saw McGravy really pushing hard and fighting to get these picks off, and that is what helped this game go into additional rounds, really.
Yeah, and of course that was set up by the EMP on the other side, where we're seeing a lot of EMP Diva self-destruct combos coming in, and that was kind of a better late than never moment where it was a little bit rough for Bud setting up EMPs in the lead up to that, but that one counted. McGravy had the follow through, and as a result, Envy squeaks by, and that's going to lead us to this map 5.
And we got to say squeaks by, because we saw some amazing plays from LNL. Like DCOD was going crazy, and we saw obviously Sugar Free was going crazy. Dogman was getting some amazing picks as Zen. It was just LNL was playing very well.
Yeah, and it's great that you actually bring up DCOD, but because it does go back to our first map. We started off on Control. We're going back to Control. And when we look at Lijiang earlier today, it was the battle of the tanks, Shiny versus DCOD. And so now it's all come down to this, our 5th map. DCOD has slowly awakened throughout the series and had a huge impact, while Shiny slowly kind of faded, making a resurgence here in this last map.
Do you think that maybe LNL is relying on Sugar Free a bit too much, and that was their downfall? Even though we have been seeing, like you said, DCOD waking up a little bit, I feel like most of the clutch plays on LNL side has been Sugar Free.
I mean, Sugar Free's definitely doing well. I would actually argue that this hasn't really been a banner day for hit-scan players on either team here, where Endler's definitely trailed off at points, Buds has trailed off at points. It's been a weird thing where I feel like tanks and supports have been dictating this game here so far, much more than the DPS players, even including Sugar Free.
Well, we are going to be going on to Oasis for our final map. These are our two teams' last opportunity to make it into the semis. What do you think we're going to be seeing? Who do you think is going to take this one?
I do think Oasis plays a little bit better for LNL because they don't have to worry about close-range shenanigans that were coming out from Envy before, where Envy's not going to be able to run a man, just be like, hey, this is totally fine. Oasis is more spread out, with the exception of University. I think we could see it pop out there. Ooh, man, between the two of them, I want to say a slight edge to Envy going into this.
I'm going to have to give it to Envy also. I mean, we started it off, and it was very dominant in their favor on Lijiang.
All right, well, the desk has picked Envy. It is our team's last opportunity to show us what they have.
You know, and the reason why I'd give this a slight edge to Envy just comes down to the fact that a lot of the LNL guys have not been in this situation before. This is about as high pressure as it gets. Envy are dealing with a lot of veterans, whether it be with the main division squad, whether it be players like Buds and Tailspin, where Overwatch itself has hardly been their first rodeo. We'll see if that experience pays off here.
Now, taking a look at the compositions, two vastly different ones coming out. Well, we do have, of course, the Divas and the Winstons. Take a look. LNL, they're going to be running Sugar Free on the Brigitte, and Lair is going to be on the Soldier 76.
Got Tailspin on the far end. Bear in mind, Tailspin's going to have to give a lot more respect to the Soldier here. Way less fall, way more damage. Buds down early on, looking for Sugar Free really bad. He needed one more rocket, Sugar Free low, but he's going to get healed back up. Envy getting bullied around just a bit. Tailspin getting checked a lot harder by Soldier than he would expect to pass, and Dogman puts him in the ground. However, Envy coming back on the other flank, but they're so low. Look at their health bars right now. LNL has done such critical damage, and yet they're fighting right back. Buds on the Doomfist making his mark.
Yeah, we had the emergency Doomfist coming out from Buds as he was taken out early on, but there's the D-Mech, and now the combo comes out as Buds is able to hit him with the seismic slam, the rising uppercut, takes him out with the good old 1 and 2, and now they're on the hunt for more. The rocket punch connects onto Decod from long range.
I'm not ready for the script of Buds, hit scan specialist, sometimes Genji, coming in and doing this on Doomfist. What is this? This wasn't in my scouting report, and I doubt it was in LNL's.
Doomfist is a projectile, right? Just his own body is the whole projectile, though. And so now LNL are coming back into this. They do have the Transcendence along with the Self-Destruct, and so Tailspin has to be careful with his positioning, as Lair is also going to look for a really good tactical visor.
All right, and Lair comes in with the visor, gets fire on the other side, but Envy has so many tools to delay. Yes, they are down 2, soon to be 3. McGravy has self-destruct. Buds goes into the other side looking for Dogman, doesn't connect, but goes directly in, shotguns him down. Tailspin's raining in rockets from the air, so it's still not bad, as no one's stopping Buds.
Oh, Buds, he gets tangled up by the CC chain of Sugar Free. But while all this is going on, Envy still have control of the point, so they are taking up, and this is the strength of Garden when you try to run this far composition. Shiny with the Primal Rage is able to take out Sugar Free, slowly swinging back in the favor of Envy. LNL need to convert on more eliminations. They are running out of health. They need the sound barrier.
Barrier in from LNL. They're looking for anything. They get Shiny, but they certainly need more. Someone has to deal Tailspin. That's number 1. And by the way, Buds on the Doomfist punishes Enlair. 98% damage. Lands the blow on the Lucio. We look at this right now. Ajax going, oh God, someone save me. That's a short Yukin. Takes him on out. Oh man, Buds is having some fun right now.
Float like a frog, but get punched by Doomfist. Oh, Buds making this emergency swap off. He was the first, I believe, to get picked off in the initial onset of this map. And then coming over to this Doomfist has been the absolute answer they needed. And now Tailspin up high in the air. He's almost got the barrage. As again, Buds gets the back line up against Dogman.
Oh my goodness. This is like playing against any Ken online circa 2009. Shoryukens for days coming out from Buds, and he's fighting it. Tailspin drops a barrage, gets on the Sugar Free. No one really covering it, and Envy looking at a 99-0 right now. Powered by the emergency Doomfist. It's on emergency. It's a celebration as Envy just needs a little bit more.
We do have a self-destruct coming out, but next instantly gets cleaned up. Nothing comes of it. Overtime is ticking away as Lair is back on, but no one is going to be able to survive for long as Sugar Free has gone over to the Tracer to try and contest, but overtime has been ticking away for so long. The respawn timers is incredibly long at this point. Sugar Free is able to touch it for now, but he's at 2 HP. Cannot survive, he'll fall.
Too much pressure. Didn't put a lot of time for the rest of his team, but overtime ticks down so quickly towards the end. Oh, wow. I just, of all the things to predict, it's just like, you know, Buds has a pretty good Doomfist. Do you know he's gonna punch LNL potentially out of the playoffs? That's the world we're living in right now.
I mean, his is the fist that just creates his own destiny at this point. Buds, I don't think we've really seen that much Doomfist out of it other than, you know, that emergency swap off on places like Anubis, on things like Volskaya. But it really came to pay off for them. Now, as we move on to University, this is what I was expecting to see out of Envy. They are going to go for that Mei. We got to see it earlier on Li Zhang. LNL, they're not going to try and run that Wrecking Ball, though. They learned their lesson. And so they're just going to go for a dive, and Sugar Free is going to be on the Sombra for them. Lair is the one to pick up the Tracer.
And kind of as expected, this is in the preamble, just like, you know, they're going to run Mei again. They might do it on University. They're doing it on University. There's plenty of ways to split up a team here, and this Mei gave LNL fits the first time around, and Sugar Free and the Sombra, new look that we haven't really seen here. I don't know about this, but we'll see if it works out as Envy right now going to be trying to control the battlefield.
Lair getting some poke off, but not as much as you probably want at this point. Great wall off, and they're able to punish Decod because of it. Buds takes him out, and losing your main tank. Tailspin. Ooh, that was one cold-blooded icicle to the head of Lair.
This is so much control coming out from Envy right now. The situation LNL didn't want. LNL's victory condition was taking Garden and City Center. They didn't want to have to deal with this Mei to actually...
They've almost got the barrage up. Tailspin using that ice block. So he got chunked down just a little bit. There's the EMP, but no follow-up quite yet. Shiny is able to just swing free. But there we go. Finally, Tailspin will fall.
They invested so much to get Tailspin there. Meanwhile, the rest of it is like, all right, we're just going to deal with your front line while you're Winston chasing the Mei. It took way too long to finish off Tailspin there. And LNL fighting against the tide. Sugar Free at this point just trying to build EMP. Fire a little bit too far out, gets punished, but Envy can delay this for a while, and they have the Graviton coming up. Even though they are under heavy, heavy pressure, they do lose control of the point.
They were able to get the pulse bomb kill onto Crimzo, so now they are running out of sustain here. Tailspin trying his best with the alternative fire, but with LNL getting those cleanup kills, they have to back away. So Envy were only able to secure 42%, but take a look at their ultimate bank. They've got everything except for that sound barrier quite yet, but these are some huge AoE ultimates coming out from them.
Yeah, I mean, Envy's about to end with the good old Minnesota. It's a polar vortex heading your way. It's gonna be 1 part Graviton, 1 part Blizzard, and all parts, everyone's chilly and wishing it was summer. But, Eden! Summer has come early. Global warming striking Envy here. Now, of course, Tailspin can still make things a little bit frosty. Drops the Blizzard, but nowhere near as good as if the Graviton was there. Buds fed the grab, and now Shiny has to compensate, drops the Shatter, doesn't work. You see someone able to get out of it in the moment, but now the barrier ends up dropping here from Envy. They're creeping up the pressure, but they could have used that kill in the end layer, who's able to rewind out of the Earth Shatter.
Yep, now remember, LNL still have control of the point right now, so they're just delaying this out, but Buds is starting to melt people with this Zarya. They're trying their best to delay, wall up to make sure the reinforcements can't get here. Sugar Free will fall. And with him gone, it will be Envy to flip it over. LNL able to secure 65%, but man, a lot was invested into that fight from both sides. Coming into this next fight, it's gonna allow LNL to have that advantage with that Transcendence. Crimzo, while he might be able to have that Coalescence, you have to remember that it kind of acts as an AoE, but it's only in that one line ahead of you, so it relies upon your team be able to play. Oh, so close together. Sugar Free, great pick up onto Crimzo.
There's no engine of healing here anymore, but Endlayer gets caught by an icicle to the head. Tailspin evens it up. Still though, Envy, I'm not sure who's going to be healing them here. Sugar Free has done a great service here to LNL as they move in, a fight they desperately need the win. Envy at 80% right now, and they're just going to try and delay this as long as possible. It will get flipped, but this is looking very good for them. They're 1 fight away.
Yeah, and Envy, they have the Wombos. They're gonna hopefully get that Graviton in time for the team along with that Blizzard. I mean, that was a combo that we haven't seen in quite some time. Graviton Blizzard was quite strong before, but also backing it up with the Coalescence. A lot of AoEs once again for Envy, but Crimzo has to be careful. Coming into this, Sugar Free, able to get out some good rockets. He's at 89, there we go. He's got the barrage connecting onto all the tanks of Envy as they make their barrage. Oh, it's Tailspin this time that goes down.
And you know what they say, winter is coming, but not when your Mei gets picked off early. Sugar Free has been the hero, 2 pushes in a row. Envy's gonna have to do this without their Mei. 5 on 6, Sugar Free holding onto the barrage, makes it rain. Mostly nullified, but Gravy take it down. It was an ill mistake. Bunzo super low, grab and toe, needs to stay up here, under pressure by Decon. Is anyone gonna help Buds? No, he falls, but he did lob the grab in. Didn't get too much from it. Mei makes it icy here in the point. Tailspin back on in, barrier dropped. Envy putting everything they have here as LNL desperately tries to get them off the point.
They've got the trance, they've got the sustain, but the wall up is there. Sugar Free is now back with this far, and he is getting some free damage off, but oh no, LNL, they've lost both supports. Here comes the Coalescence, and able to change the tide. But Lair with the 2-man before he falls to Buds.
Oh man, Endlayer making it spicy, but it's still not enough. Envy recaps, and LNL has 1 more fight before their season's over, and they don't have much time.
Sugar Free swaps off now. He's going over to the Wrecking Ball. They need the speed. No, he goes over to Doomfist. And oh no, the respawn timers are going to punish LNL. They're able to touch it just in time, but Ajax will fall. The wall up is there. Sugar Free can't even touch it. As he goes to the skies, he gets shot down by McGravy. And now Envy about to walk away with this.
It's down to Nex. The tank's coming in. Buds cleaning things up. Emergency Cowboy beating Emergency Doomfist. Nex desperately trying to buy time. LNL, they might be left over indeed here. Envy, they end up taking it in a close 5.
I am sending all of these teams my hospital bill. I am having multiple heart attacks over here. Oh my goodness, what a series we just witnessed. I I didn't know who was going to really take it in the end, but Envy pulled it off in the end.
Envy, again, I don't know if it's the case where Envy's just more experienced in these situations or just simply found a better winning formula, but who could have expected the Doomfist from Buds there? That was just, that was out of left field.
Yeah, I mean, he swapped off on it, right? He was the first one to get picked off in the fight, and he goes over to it because he has high mobility, also high burst damage, and then he's like, wait, this is working. They're not doing anything against me. And he has been able to get these picks time and again and working out for them.
Yeah, and I mean, you took away LNL's main win condition here, which is that we knew that Envy had the Mei strategy in the back pocket. We knew that LNL really didn't deal with it well. In fact, I'd argue that that last round was pretty much in favor of Envy, with the exception of a few things just really going LNL's way, which is 2 miracle picks by Sugar Free and a grab getting eaten, but you can't rely on any of those things as a general rule. But LNL, they should have been able to take this map. They should have been able to get City Center with what we've seen from them, but they weren't prepared for the Doomfist, and Buds flipped the script.
No one was prepared for the Doomfist, and it wasn't even just a Doomfist, it was a good Doomfist. It was a Doomfist that was punching everything that moved and then murdering it. Wow. Just wow, I'm speechless.
That's the type of thing, too, where I know LNL has a pretty deep coaching staff. They look at it and like, we didn't expect this.
Yeah.
It's just like...
I feel like that's one of those you just have to tip your hat to Buds and just say, you know what, you deserved that. That was amazing.
Yeah, like how do you prepare for the Mei? How do you prepare for the Doomfist? It's just these pocket picks that teams are able to pull out, and it definitely worked out for them. Buds had a little bit of a slow start on the McCree earlier on this map, but he was able to close it out with this. And again, it was that synergy with that Mei. The Mei is so good about splitting up teams with that ice wall.
I think if we have a champion of Oasis, it's probably Buds. Buds just on both points pulled it through.
And honestly, I mean, even though he's more associated with Pharah as a general historical rule, Tailspin put on a show today in May, like on map 1 and on map 5, incredible control coming out from just, again, solid, intelligent play that certainly threw LNL for a loop.
The Meta certainly bookmarked this series, and I'm going to stick with this until it catches on. I really hope it catches on, or I'm going to be embarrassed. But no, we have seen some great counter picks and great picks going into these games, and now we're moving on to more of the semifinals or of the playoffs and then into the semifinals, and I can't wait.
You know, I also want to say, as sort of a send-off, credit where credit's due to LNL. I think LNL surpassed everyone's expectations here this season. You know, as a team coming in truly from the path to pro, getting in through open division, fighting their way through, coming within a team fight of removing Envy and getting to the semifinals. You guys weren't able to quite bring it through to the end, but I was entertained watching the season. Can't wait till next.
Absolutely. Everybody go out and eat a celebratory hot dog in honor of LNL